So today I'm kind of feeling around with this jewel. I'm running it, just getting kind of familiar with. So I got to make sure the windshield wipers work, turn signals. I do have the headlights, I think, windshield wipers. I can assume that's 20 degrees hotter than that, which that's okay. That's well, you know, comfortable. The boost gauge, I think it should be good. I did go ahead and I've got a guy that I deal with, ECU Masters. I did go ahead and copy this tune and email it to him, just have him look it over. First time I ever used Mad Mike. I've not even driven the car. I don't know, I just wanted them to look at the car, look at the tune and be like, yeah, it's cool. I don't want to blow another motor up. And you know, hey, if they're like, yeah man, this you know, this guy knows his stuff, so you know, then we'll go back with the, you know, the S14. We'll take my son's car once we get the ECU Masters in it, and then we'll take the S13 with the 1J. So, you know, be worth just checking that out. And you know, I'm a little gun shy right now after having that engine blow up, and right after the tuners. It's not necessarily their fault. I don't think. I really don't know. But with Mad Mike, you know, he's primarily a Honda guy. He's, you know, I can do Hondas in no time. Took a little longer. We did get about 30 pulls on it. Everything seemed to go pretty smooth. Didn't really have any hiccups. We did have an issue with the fuel pump, but that's on me. But overall, I think everything's good. You know, before I really drive it, I'm gonna at least have ECU Masters look at the tune and, you know, tell me whatever they think. And if they don't, then I'll just drive it anyway before waiting too long. But you know, it's never bad to get a second opinion. Not judging anybody or thinking he's not a good tuner or any of that. I just, you know, they make the ECU, that's what they do. What's it gonna hurt, you know? What's it gonna hurt? So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. The temperatures are differentiating. Not, that's 163 and this is 141, so it's a little different. So it's a little off. What's vibrating thing? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and admit I'm nervous as crap to drive the car. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it now. You know, and I wouldn't mind selling it, but at the same time I do want to drive it. Sounds okay, smokes a little bit, but it is what it is, you know. I'll rock it. But yeah, this is this the interior of this car. Metal dash, sheet metal. This is what you got. Gotta get me a fire extinguisher in here. I do have heat tape under that because it was getting hot in here. So I did put some heat tape. It's not wanting to stick, but got that in. My fan switches, push button start. Got the regular key ignition in here. So then you just turn it to on, push button start it, fans. Yeah, there's no heater or anything, so it is what it is. It's a drift car, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, let's see what it does, and I'm just trying to fill it out a little bit today, letting it run, let it idle, checking temps, emailing ECU Masters, have them go over that base map, just different things, and I'll close it up, put it back in, and I'll work on something else. But that's where I'm at today. So let's continue on with that, and we may drive this thing at some point. But either way, all right, here we go. So all right, now we're gonna take our water line, put a little silicone spray in there, put us a clamp on it, put that jewel down as far as it'll go. Go ahead and put our clamp on. So that's that one. Same thing on the other side. I don't know how I'm going to get to it, but we'll try to figure it out. Oops. A little spray down in that jewel. Put your clamp on. If it'll fit. There we go. Yeah, I don't believe this one would ever come off. But you never know. And that should be plenty out of the way. Probably have to turn it some more at some point, just to get that right fit to it. Now, this jewel has to be fished through here as well. I don't know rightly how it's going to sit, but I have a fitting. I don't need to Teflon the fitting, but I'm going to, just to be safe. See if it'll fit it. Okay. Now, in theory, which I'm gonna have to zip tie these on there. In theory, this jewel's gonna want to live somewhere. We may have to fight it. Let's go that way with it. I don't know what size wrench that is either. And it's a 17. Let's see what that does. Alright, so we got the housing on. And I can render it just whichever way, you know, when we get where we want to go. So I would say probably right in there, give or take. I won't be able to come here because of, you know, if I try to run any kind of filter, if I run this way, I'm going to hit this thing. So I would imagine probably right in there or so. maybe that to that liking, and then we're just gonna 90 straight up. I will have to wrap this stuff. The fuel line is back here. This is coolant, but I still want to kind of wrap it. And I think maybe do a hood exit, and that'll fix that. So we'll have to 90 from here to our intercooler piping. So I figured out a boot there. I may not run a filter. I may run a screen over this. If I run a screen, we actually may gain a little more to get us off of, you know, the exhaust down here, and we don't need a ton away from the line because the line's not going to make a lot of difference. I mean, it's not going to heat it up enough. We can pull it up more if we need to gain a little more this way. You know, we can come up with something, maybe just kind of route it different or something. But that's going to be pretty much the gist of it. But we are going to go up and out on the exhaust. I do have the, I don't know if you can see, but I got the wastegate down there. That jewel's on. I know it's dark, but that guy's there. I got to put that, there's like a 90 that comes off of that. I've got to put that 90 on still. It goes right, it goes to this flange right there. So it goes on that, and 90 up off of there. So it's getting closer all the time. Speaking of getting closer. Okay, and so after this ordeal, what we got to do is I got to make sure. All right, so in here, that's good to have an IAT, it's intake air temperature sensor, and I don't know if any of them plugs will double as IAT. So before I put the intake on and kill out where I can reach all those plugs, I'm going to call, which I should have done that today, Wiring Specialties, and see if any of those can double as intake air temperature. If not, I think we can use the mass airflow. I think it's that one. So we'll have to come back across here to hook where the throttle body actually will come on this side. So I have to hook it over here out of the throttle body just a little ways. I think that may be like that, I don't remember. But I need to make sure on the intake air temperature sensor, if that's an option, or if we're gonna stay with the MAF. So, yeah. But that's where it's at, so. All right, until I get that phone call made, I'm hung up on that. Turbo's pretty much in. Intake's the next step, and that's, you know, depending on what sensor I can use or which one I get to do or whatever. And after that, I gotta order a couple fittings. When I order those fittings, I should be good after that. And then that plug, and that'll get us to be able to put the intake on, and then we'll see if we got a fuel leak with the injectors. And that should be pretty much it, besides the 90 coming up out and the 90 going down off the wastegate. That should just about put us pretty close to ready to turn power and fuel and check for leaks and stuff. So we're not that far away. We just gotta taste parts and figure it out. The big part was the turbo, so it's on. That's maybe a little bit of tweaking which way it sits, but that's pretty much it. And then the boot. So, all right, here we go. All right, so I found a piece of intercooler piping, and it will work. And it was scratched all to pieces, so I went ahead and just put some heat tape on it I had left over, which don't judge. It didn't want to lay down. If you've ever done this, heat tape, I guess you know what that's about. But I think that's about where it's going to lay. I'm going to get a screen for this. Instead of a filter, they make a screen for those things, and I'm gonna get that screen. And that will actually put me about what I was expecting on the turbo manifold, or on the exhaust pipe going straight up. So, if I end up changing anything here, I'll end up going with the long radius 45 or maybe just a 90. I may even change that pipe altogether to just so I got more wiggle room. But I could go twist it more this way, but it was hitting here. I wanted to, that way we don't have any vibration. The oil line is a little up against it here. which I can take that out right here. I can tweak that a little. The water line, it's okay. Just barely up against it. So this side's pretty much at least laid out enough to do something with it. And I could run it this way and just put that exhaust up, then the intake on it. And again, these are things I'm just finding laying around. The only thing I bought was the turbo itself, the injectors, and the fittings to make the turbo sit on there. And I think maybe the oil line or something, supply line. So maybe some fittings, something of that nature. But I had everything, all the intercooler piping, the boot, bunch of other stuff I already had. So just picking up what's laying around here and digging around through boxes and seeing what I can come up with, and that's what I've got so far. I will actually order the screen for that turbo. I knew that I wasn't gonna have enough room for a filter running it like this, but that's okay. I expected that, so. But either way, all right, here we go. Turbo officially on. T-O-O. Shout out Donut Media. All right, here we go. All right, so I was gonna show you some of the cars I ended up with. I got this EK Civic, got an LS swap in it. I got these two jewels. I ended up with the SC400 back. Ended up with a Del Sol back. Got to keep this. And ended up with the EK hatch. So that's what I've got now. So the SC400, the Del Sol, and the EK Civic. Yeah. What I got rid of was a SC300 shell and a running driving automatic SC300. I ended up with all this stuff. So I got stuff I didn't need for stuff I didn't need. But in the long run, it'll help Art, so it'll be worth it. Art can get a drift car ready, and then we can go drifting maybe. So, all right, here we go. All right, so I called Wiring Specialties, and they informed me that some of these harnesses, they make them on the mass airflow where you can disconnect them and run the intake air temperature sensor, which this is it with the fitting on it. But the intake air temperature sensor, there's the actual plug. This is what it looks like without it. There's it with the plug, they're watertight. And the weld-on welderlet. Okay, so I was wondering with all the wires over there if there's any of those wires I'm gonna need. I called them, they said nope, none of those are relevant, but what I do have to do is I have to take the mass airflow, let me get you over here with me. I have to take, hold on. Okay. Now I have to take the mass airflow, and there's a pink wire on this end and a brown wire. I have to de-pin those, and then those go into here. So we're doing away with the mass airflow. The ECU Masters Black has a map sensor, and we do away with the mass airflow, and then we add in the intake air temperature sensor somewhere in our charge pipe, which I'm assuming probably closer to the intake. So we will be able to read everything we need to know to keep this car running. So we're going to do away with the mass airflow. Pull these two pins, pin it into here, and I guess just the plug hangs there minus the two in there. So the pink and the brown come out, and that'll read as intake air temperature. So that's all I need to do. The rest of it's going to be not used. So they gave me my answer on that. 2-wire change out of the mass airflow into the intake air temperature. When I get the intake on, I'll figure the charge pipe on the driver's side better on the actual intake, and then I think that's where I'll add this, and I'll pull that harness back across and make it to the provisions for putting the intake air temperature sensor on. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But now I know I don't need all this other stuff, so I can go ahead and start figuring out the intake side. So, all right, here we go. Well, I've been tinkering with this thing for a little while here, and this is where I've got there we go. The vacuums to this thing, I did go ahead and stub them out from underneath it. These guys, if I can get you to, all right, so like these are the vacuums that go underneath it. I'll probably get a vacuum block and put here somewhere. But then I got the vacuum that goes to the actual ECU to here. There's one more down there somewhere. I may end up having to change that hose. I don't think it's long enough. But I don't have the throttle body on yet. I still got to run, when I set the fuel rail up, I'll have to put the fuel lines here and a couple other things. But this thing here is what I'm probably going to have issues with. I may cut it off and then just use like that bottom piece is the where it goes on. I don't know, because it's going to be right in the way of the actual throttle body and the cable for that hose. So got to figure that thing out, and then we'll go from there. But I relocated this. I put some nut certs, I guess that's what they call them. So you put like an insert and then put a bolt in that insert. I extended that line, so now I got this line to finish, and the fuel lines and throttle body, all the injector wires are up. The throttle position sensor one is on this side, and that's what I got right now. So getting closer all the time. But hey guys, thanks for watching our videos. If you will, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell. For a while, I had that set up to where the bell, you couldn't hit the bell or whatever, where it's made for kids or something, I don't know. But I changed that, so you can hit the bell now for notifications. That's a done deal. And check out www.chesserenterprises.com. We've got a website, it's just the beginning of it. I've been kind of working on that on my time in between here and there, and editing and all that stuff, and with the rentals and everything. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. All right, here we go.
I'm feeling high. I'm feeling